What's happening, Hope? Hal Nunn here with Glenn Young, and we are doing our segment this week on news, and we have the Sheriff of Hoke County, Sheriff Peterkin.
Good
How are you doing?
Good, Glenn. Yes, sir.
Thanks for inviting us into your office, and we just want to talk a little bit about some things that's been going on in the news lately, and talk about things going on. You can catch our show every Thursday at 4 o'clock at the U-Haul building at Rockfish Speedway. Also on YouTube, like our page, share our page, and like and visit our Facebook page. Glenn does a really good job with GPS photography and video. Check him out if you need to. But Sheriff, thank you for letting us come in. First of all, how long have you been Sheriff? I think I moved here in 2001. That was about the time, right?
Oh yes, I had hair then, by the way.
Yeah, so did I, a little more.
Well, I'm in my 13th year as the Sheriff of Hoke County, and a total of a little over 28 years in my whole law enforcement career.
Wow. And first of all, I want to commend you on a great job you do here in the community. I think you do a lot that people don't see, and so therefore I see it. And so just from Glenn and I want to say thanks. And it's July 1st, so this month, you're getting ready to receive a pretty high election, and it's election of your peers. The North Carolina Sheriff's Association has elected Sheriff Hubert Peterkin to be the president of the association in July. Congratulations on that. And what does that mean? What does that mean for you, and how did it come about? Well,
first I want to say, guys, I'm very humbled for the opportunity. I had to first get in line for this opportunity to be the president by being elected vice. So I've served as one of the vices for the past 3 years, and but what it means is that it's going to have me more involved with all the sheriffs across the state of North Carolina and across the nation. So I will be the face and the voice for the sheriffs for that whole year, and then I'll serve another year as the chairman of the executive board over all the sheriffs who have served as president. So it allows me to be heavily involved with the General Assembly, senators, House of Representatives, congressmen, senators, anyway, and the governor, to bring in resources to our community. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, one of the things that people do not remember, Hoke County was one of the first counties to go to the cameras on the deputy, the vest cameras. And that was like you being a step ahead of everybody. You
Last year, Raleigh is still talking about getting them in a debate, and I think it's helped leaps and bounds, especially in the school system with the resource officers, but also with your traffic stops as well.
But I must confess, I felt guilty when I first introduced it to the sheriff office. A lot of the staff and the deputies was frowning on it because they said, "God, we don't want to." And then then all of a sudden, probably months later, Ferguson popped off.
Right.
And then they saw all of the stuff going on. We was testing them then. Well, that kind of gave me what I needed. That was confirmation. They saw the need, and then even when we put them on some of the officers, eventually the officers start requesting that all of them have them. So now every uniform officer, detective, and SWAT team are wearing body cams on their uniforms.
That is awesome, and a lot of people think that when you see the videos of the body cam, from what I've learned and what I've seen on TV and the internet, that the law enforcement is doing bad. Well, actually, I think it's starting to prove that the law enforcement are actually operating within the law, and there's some things that people don't see.
So the thing about it is everything is in social media. Everybody's got a camera filming the police officers. And so now it's like a flip the script, but it validates the officer and could incriminate the officer as well. At the same time, the person that's out there doing the crime, whether it be a DUI stop, what have you, they've got video. You can't dispute video. Video doesn't lie, just like we say in sports. You can't dispute.
And that's a very good point, Glenn. My thing is, as a leader of the law enforcement agency, I want to make sure that I'm holding my guys accountable. But also, if they are doing what they're supposed to do, then we want to hold the person accountable that they're dealing with. We don't want to hide anything. I think the proof is in the pudding. So the cameras have really been a big asset to us since we started doing this a while back.
All right, let's get on to the topic at hand. Last week you held a seminar, I guess, at East Hoke Middle School in reference to all the clergy in the area, all the pastors and ministers and folks like that. And it was sort of it's a reaction to what happened in Charleston. First of all, thank you for doing that. And second of all, what led you to be to put this thing on? Obviously the event in Charleston, but you felt the need that everybody, and I think you had how many people there?
It was a little over 300 people.
It was over 300
it was a good
people,
crowd, yes.
and it was a great crowd. I saw the photo. It'll be coming out in this week's paper. Catherine does a really good job. But you know, what immediately prompted you? I guess you probably had it in the works before.
Well, I've talked to churches about security over the years, but what made me push to do this is that it really concerned me when I didn't know what they were doing, the churches were doing, the worshipers. I said, okay, all this, and I started getting calls from pastors, and I started talking to some of them started coming here meeting with me, and I realized everyone I talked to wasn't quite in line with being aware or being safe. And then even when we put the event on Saturday, and I asked the question, who's doing security, who's doing this, who has a safety team, I was stunned when I saw only a couple, 2 or 3 hands go up in the audience, and I said, "You kidding me?" So I found out from doing this Saturday that a lot of them wasn't doing anything at all, and they were there to learn. They were there to get some input from us, and I thought it was an absolute success. We've been getting calls ever since Saturday. I was reviewing some stuff a minute ago. We got calls yesterday. We've been getting them all week so far about some of them wanting additional training. I have some companies that's going to come in and train them for free. All I ask them to do is put their team together, and they're going to come in and train their team for free.
Wow.
And point them in the right direction of what to do.
Unbelievable.
The thing about it, I guess I got a question with Sheriff is, with the mega churches, you know, down here, when you look at Mount Pisgah, or you look at Manna, some of the other larger churches, security's not an issue because they already got that entailed in the problem, in their detail of what they're going to do. But what about the rural churches? I think there's 30, 35 plus churches or more in Rayford. And you're out here in a rural area, that's a soft target. You know, you're taking up an average offering every month, every Sunday, $400 to $500.
Right.
They don't have the money for the security. You're in a rural area. What about those churches?
We address that. That's a good question. It doesn't matter how big or small your organization is. Even say if you got a church that don't have any money at all to buy any security systems, well, you have people.
Right.
If you don't have any retired military or active military or retired officers, law enforcement, or active, then you find your lay people, empower your lay people. You find 2 or 3, 4 people. 4 is a good number. And you tell them, okay, every Sunday or whatever day you worship, I want you put them in a strategic layout. You say, okay, deacon, brother, trustee, this is where I want you every Sunday. You sit here. You sit here. You tell them what their job function is, what their focus is on, who's to dial 911. Then you have a layout of the church, and you tell them, say, okay, in the event that we have this problem, how are we going to deal with it? And then we also talk to them about they should know how the law enforcement in their jurisdiction is going to respond, especially in a case where you got an active shooter. What are they supposed to do when you have an active shooter? So it's not the size, it's really not. And this stuff is very inexpensive. I've told them you can go to Radio Shack, get the walkie-talkies that can pick up from,
2 miles radius,
you can get the little cameras you can put in places. I mean, it's unbelievable what you can do over the period of time. But right now, they need to start putting their security team together. That doesn't cost anything.
Right.
And then we're offering a free training
on what to look for.
Right. And they come in and tell the team, this is what you're supposed to do. Right. They'll look at how many people you got. They will assess your church, your value, evaluate your entries, all the things that you got going based on your needs, and tell you where your weak points are, your strong points are. It's there. So this is we did all of this. We offered all of this on Saturday.
This was great.
Let's take a quick break. We're coming back. We're talking to Hoke County Sheriff Hubert Peterkin about the safe and security of churches. We'll be right back. What's happening, Hoke? We're back. We're talking to Hoke County Sheriff Hubert Peterkin. Sheriff, this is great information that people need to know. And I had a question in reference to, I live in Somerset Subdivision. Last weekend, they had an attempted break-in on my street, and they were caught on camera. But what they were trying to do is rip off the electrical box off the house to gain access in the house.
Wow.
What are some of the things that people can do, and we know why they do that, of course.
They're criminal.
Well, evidently, and I don't know exactly, what equipment the homeowners actually are using, but and a lot of times the people that's trying to do this, they done been there before,
Right.
or they done cased out.
Case your
They done
house.
cased. So they knew that disabling the electrical box was going to do something.
Right.
So say if they had a security system in a home and they got the electrical box off, I encourage people to have backup systems, backup something.
Right.
So if they had an alarm system, they probably thought by taking it off, taking the electrical box off, it was going to cause the alarm system not to work.
Right.
I encourage people, when you have alarm systems,
Battery backup.
backup battery packs.
Right.
Make sure your alarm company has installed your system where it's still going to alert
Right.
law enforcement. It's still going to scream
Right.
loud, the whole 9 yards. You need to ask that question.
Yeah.
Ask the alarm company, say, in the event that my power's disabled, or they cut the wires to my alarm system, what's going to happen?
Backup. Well, you have a generator or that.
Right. Well, even if you
Battery
don't,
pack,
some
battery.
people have generators, some people don't.
Right.
But you want to make sure that you got a backup plan in the event that something is disabled. Okay.
And the scary part about it, now the house is pitch black. They rush the door, and now you got a situation.
Exactly.
And you may be fumbling trying to find yourself on the call 911. You can't see anything.
Right.
And unless you are a concealed carrier or you have a some kind of weapon in the home, of course,
This day and time, this is what I told the church worshipers the other day. The same concept works in your home.
Right.
We should always be prepared. You should assess your home, like we talked about the backup plans for the alarm system. In the event the house is pitch black, what is your next stage?
Right.
I mean, weather can cause your house to go pitch black.
True.
What is your backup
You need to be
plan?
prepared.
Right, you should be prepared. Most alarm companies have panic buttons. They have the key fobs, where you can hit a button on it and it sends a panic. It sets off the alarm, or on fire, or rescue. I told the churches, I said, if those of you that have alarm system in your church, most of you have them. Get the key fobs.
Yeah.
So, and
Get
give
the remote.
them out to people on your security team, and when something pops off, they know to hit the button. What is it going to do? It's going to call law enforcement.
Yeah, if it's set up to,
Right.
to the 911
Right,
center.
right. And I encourage it to be. So just get back to what you're saying about the homeowners. Make sure you have a backup plan, even for the backup plan.
Right. And being 4th of July, a lot of people may be out of town. They also, before going, they can come down to the sheriff's department and say, hey,
Yes,
I'm going
sir.
to be out of town. Can you come by my
If
house or
something
ride down my
happens.
street?
Please take
You can do
advantage
that,
of
and
that.
that's free.
Take advantage. And what that means, what Glenn is saying is, if you come in and do a register for the house check program, and you out of town 2 days, whatever, you put it on the program, the officers on each shift will check your residence.
Wow.
They literally get out of the
That's good.
car.
And walk around.
And
the
on your form, you will see, they'll say, okay, there's only supposed to be one car in the yard is blue. If they pull up there's 2 cars in the yard.
Something's up.
There you go.
They
Truck.
they have to immediately assess that situation and see if something's going on. You can apply online on our website.
Yeah. You don't even have to come in.
Right.
So
You can go to Hoke County Sheriff. .org, HokeCountySheriff.org,
What's the
www.
program?
Right, and it's called a house check program.
House check program.
Yes.
The other point I want to make is, and I learned this with my alarm company, you can call them and also tell them that you're going to be gone from July 1st to July 10th, so they know that if something happens in those days, it's an automatic. It's
Right,
not a,
right,
it's
right.
not a, oh well, this is just another mistake, because mistakes do happen, alarms do go off. We're talking to Sheriff Hubert Peterkin, Hoke County Sheriff, and soon to be president of the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. My last question is for businesses in our community, and we've already talked a little bit about homes. The businesses in our community, it's about the same thing. However, you are operating on a day in and day out basis. Is there anything that the businesses in Hoke County and Rayford can do to take another step to be more proactive?
Let me tell you,
in the
this
event of
is
a robbery or something.
Right, this is something that I have not introduced yet, but I'm looking at it, and then I'll answer the final question better. We'll want to go to a probing system for our businesses, especially those who are in the high crime areas. And so what is that? That means they'll be able to put something on the building. So when the officer goes by to check the business, he probe it. It goes into a computer system to let us know that the officer is checking those
He's
businesses
checked it.
Right.
on a regular basis. We used to have it where they would hang a little card on the door.
Right.
Well,
But when you were pulling security, you
Right.
got to do the key lock
Right, but the
system.
criminal-
Right.
right.
Way in the Army, we used to write them down.
so the criminal element would go by and say, okay, we see the tag on the door, they already checked it, so we can go and break in now, they won't be back. So a probing system, it keeps it between us and the business owner.
Right.
So That's accountability on our end. I want to make sure the officers are checking, like they say they're checking, so that and we do this at the jail. Then when they make their rounds, every cell they have to touch probe, and it's on the computer. I can look at it on my phone. I can look at it on my iPad and see when the officers are making the rounds. So that's another piece that we want to do to try to help the business owners be safer. Now, what can they do to be safer? And we encourage them to install surveillance systems. You can't have enough cameras. Put a security system on the building, but put cameras on that record.
And they're affordable now.
Right, yes it is.
Very affordable.
The first thing we ask for is, did you have a video? Most of the situations that we're solving comes from video.
Right.
And then you put the video, feed to the video in a secure area, not just sitting under the counter where they can take it, disable it, or cut it up. So put it in a room, put it under the building. There's so many ways in the attic. You can hide it
underneath the house.
And they don't know it's there, first of all.
Yeah.
But give us something that we can latch on to when we do this type of thing.
That is awesome. Glenn, I think it's been a great show. It's been really good to have the sheriff give us a few minutes out of his busy schedule.
Really appreciate it.
But as we move forward into this year, we want everybody to be safe, number one.
Escalations of break-ins, it's 4th of July weekend.
Be aware.
Everybody's out of school.
And anything that don't look right, call the sheriff's office. You're not bothering us.
It's not an inconvenience.
I hear it all the time. They say we don't want to bother y'all. No, this is what we get paid to do. This is what we enjoy doing. Please give us a call if you have a situation.
Thanks for sitting down with the sheriff.
All right, Glenn.
Really
No problem.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Glenn, close
That's it
us
for the
out.
What's Happening Hoke Show. Like and share our Facebook channel. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The What's Happening Hoke Show is brought to you by the Rock of Hoke, Rockfish Motor Speedway, nunboys.com, and GPS Photography and Video. We'll see you tomorrow on Thursday's show, where we'll have Commissioner Alan Thomas is going to join us, and we're going to talk everything budget.
Oh boy.
For me, Glenn Young, Sheriff Peterkin, thanks
sir.
again,
All right.
and Hal Nunn.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Okay.